is your thoughts on with working with Vince McMahon, being under his direction. And I'm assuming you saw that Netflix series, and a lot of questions have come in wanting your thoughts on Vince. And you've touched on a little bit already, but your any incidents with him, or interactions with him, not necessarily incidents, and your thoughts on that series.
So I watched the series. It was well produced. It was a WWE product. I mean, even though it was a Netflix product, it was a WWE promotional product. And I didn't like the fact that it talked about so much stuff that they did on TV, because we can go back and watch all that. If I want a documentary on Vince, I want to hear what was going on when the cameras weren't rolling or when he wasn't on camera. I don't want to see him. I don't want to rehash angles that we've seen in highlights for the past 15 years. You know what I mean? And I would say three quarters to maybe 90% of it was just that. And it talked very little on his personal upbringing and the family, and just every little episode had a little bit, but I feel like that should have been much more. But it was a great presentation. I had a great professional relationship with him. I mean, when you're making money for Vince, all of a sudden, he wants to use you, and you're in and around. And the guys that are assholes or difficult to deal with don't last very long. You know, guys that, are very, I don't know. And you don't see them because, I don't know. The atmosphere in WWE seems different than what you hear in, like, maybe Hollywood, where some actors are like pushing their feet back, going, I'm not doing this role, or I'm going to do it this way, or I have to have 19 jelly beans in my locker room. We were all family, man, and especially back then, and that's all I really have to draw from. But when I tore my ACL, or tore my patella tendon, I went to Birmingham to have knee surgery, and I was there for about a month. I'm doing a therapy in Birmingham, and that's when Vince slid in the Royal Rumble and blew out both of his legs. Remember that?
Yeah, but were they quads?
I think he blew out both his quad tendons, and then
Yeah,
he goes to
walking in the ring.
Birmingham. He has surgery. I know where the hospital is. I know when he has surgery, so I just go in the hospital and ask for his room, and I go walk right up to his room, and he's there with the cast on both legs, and he hadn't shaven in a couple of days, and I could tell immediately, like, he was like, nobody sees him without shaving until the mustache came out recently. Nobody saw him without shaving. And I simply told him I knew he had somebody there. Somebody's there for him. I'm like, I'm in town. If you need anything, I'm here. Whatever you need. And I left. And my biggest regret, my number one regret, is I should have put a chair next to his bed and sat down and talked his ear off until he forced me to leave, and just picked his brain and talked to him as long as he would talk to me. I should have done that just to absorb the information, just to get a better relationship with him. But I was so scared and so nervous, because that's Vince McMahon. Vince and The Undertaker were the only two guys that I really got nervous around in the back, and I don't know why.